Yes.
All right. The stream is live. Guys, welcome. Locker room access, couple minutes late. Everybody rushing around. Early game today. T-Dub is knee-deep in an Eggs Benedict right now. Spencer's at the game. Mark is rushing home. Will be joining us at half, but my man Dougie Fresh, as usual, front and center, ready to go, rocking a really bright orange.
It is bright, and that's my mood today going into this huge game. Huge for Wake, huge for Virginia. My intel on the ground from JB, our occasional host. Wake was out from the early start, working out as a team pregame. Reese and Tane were in their pregame thing, and I heard Isaac McNeely may look a little different today with the high top, bone skin, old school half fade. So let's
go. Did he get a flat top? You talking flat top or just?
I haven't seen him. He said he brought the fade way up supposedly. So it's going to be a dynamic look. I expect at least 12 attempted threes by him today. And he'll probably make 8. No big deal.
He maybe went to see our boy Bobby Bishop, who was arrested for crimes against humanity for the haircuts that he gave all of us for a long time. Shout out, Bobby, if you're still out there watching. Guys, welcome. Welcome to the pregame show. This is a big one, Fresh. You already gave the intel, but man, Wake coming in 16-8. They're 8-5 in the ACC. We're 19-6, 10-4 in the ACC. Big game for both teams. Kind of has a tournament feel to it. Do you get those vibes as well?
Absolutely. We focus on our own team, Virginia. Every game's the biggest game of the season. When this is there's no difference there. But Wake, they're securely bubble in, bubble out type of thing. It's a huge win if they can pull it out. It's kind of a must win for us in a lot of ways. So yeah, it's big ramifications. You know, both teams want to win. We always forget that because we're so Virginia centric.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's go back to a dark time. Last time we played Wake, they crushed us 66-47. If you remember, that was the Jordan Minor game. Meaning he actually played kind of for the first time, had 9 points in 22 minutes. That was the first time we saw him. We went on a run. After that, we played really well. Interestingly enough, he didn't play a lot the other night against Pitt. We got the L. We're going to need him today, man. Wake brings the heat with a lot of offense, man. I was watching the game. They have 4 guys. 4 dudes that score over 14 a game. We have 1, and Reese is right at 14.
Yep, that's a good point.
So let's go through their team just real quick. Everyone knows Salas. Last time he had 21 points, 9 rebounds, averaging 19-4, and he's shooting 40% on 3. That guy's a handful. Gonzaga transfer, bucket getter. Miller is really tough, 16-4, averaging. He had 14-7 against us last time. Andrew Carr, really good, really underrated. I watched their last couple of games. He's averaging 14-7 rebounds and shooting 40% from 3. Cam Hildreth, 14-5, another just baller. And then Efton Reed, the big fella, averaging 9 and 8 on the season. And they've got a couple good guys off the bench. But, hey, I think we got to score this game. Like, we can't – I don't think we win this game if it's in like the 50s. I think they have enough firepower to win that. We've got to get buckets, and we're not going to get 50 again from Reese and IMAC, I don't think. I want to see even scoring across our roster, which truthfully hasn't happened a lot lately. We need Rhodey, Tane, Dante. Ryan's got to make some buckets. What are your thoughts heading into this on the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah, we're at the point in the season we've proven that we're not that defensive sort of juggernaut that we have gotten spoiled to in years past. And you're right. It's going to have to be a balanced scoring attack. We're going to have to stretch the floor, as they say. I hate saying that. What Wake really tries to do is go after Reese. If you remember the game last year there, Reese and Kie both in foul trouble, and they had the guards to do it. Wake Forest, the key to them, in my opinion, is Monsanto, because he was a gunslinger last year, coming off an injury. He was 2-9 against Duke in their loss there. He catches and shoots. And as he goes, they tend to go, although to your point, they're very balanced. I like Jordan Minor a lot this game. I think Wake is soft inside. Efton's a monster. He's a huge, long guy with a lot of experience out of Gonzaga as well. But they're just overall soft inside. Their guards are anything but soft. So, yeah, we're going to – and let's go, Ryan. Ryan Dunn, look at the basket. Rhodey, catch it and look at the basket. Let's attack a little bit.
Battery 100.
Uh-oh. I can't hear. Ty, turn it down.
Battery 100.
Can you hear me now?
I'm better now. I don't know what happened. I lost connection.
It might have been on my end. So I said, look, outside of IMAC, outside of Reese, those guys make us go, right? Who needs to step up for us today? Who's going to have a game? If we win this game, who's going to be the guy that steps up and gets buckets because we're going to have to score?
I think it can and should be and will be Tane Murray today. He's a tough kid. He likes to attack a little bit. He's played a little safer, I think, but he and Reese have a real connection. It was interesting to me that Josh said he and Reese were together pregame. And you've seen that connection where, Tane will kind of sprint down in the secondary break. He'll hide in the corner. Reese looks for him and finds him. I think Tane's going to get a lot of minutes today, and I think he's going to thrive in that situation.
Yeah, I like the position that you said. I'm going to go a little bit different direction. And I've been fairly critical of Rhodey this year, but I've seen in the last couple of games, there's a little momentum there. There's more confidence. I think we're going to see Rhodey hit, 3 or 4 threes today, maybe end up with, kind of like his Texas A&M game, 13, 14, maybe 15 points. We've got to get those guys scoring. So it's just not on Reese and IMAC exclusively. What do you think about Buck in this game? Big Buck playing better, more confidently. He's got a nice touch. Is this the game we see him play score a little bit more?
Yeah, we talked about it. He came out, he was playing way above his expectations to begin the season. We knew that would crash back to the median, and it kind of went the other way. He was pretty bad for a while. Coach Bennett and staff going with Jordan to start the game and then bringing Big Buck off the bench. Big Buck is, of course, Blake Buchanan we're talking about, and he's really settled into it nicely. What I love about him, he catches the ball as a big and he turns and looks. He's not just trying to get it out of his hands and run around. He was a little confused early on in the season in terms of like where to screen, how to screen. Yeah. He was setting screens while Reese is going to the basket and kind of muffling up the flow. He's gotten better. His spacing's better. He understands where he needs to be on the court, and I think bringing his energy off the bench is priceless.
All right, let's stay with the big guy theme. Something that came back last game like a bad case of athlete's foot was the hard hedge. Right, a lot of talk on forum this week. The hard hedge came back against Pitt. No one likes it. I think, except for Tony. We talk about the flat hedge. Like, what do you think? Do you think we'll go back to those more basic defensive principles, or are we gonna run him out there and get torched in the opposite corner again?
Yeah, people assume the hedge is because the staff is mandating that we hedge no matter what. I'm not so sure. I think it's players. I think they're at the point in the season where they got to know when to go. Right? What's the Kenny Rogers? Know when to fold them, know when to hold them, whatever it is. They got to know. Blake's experienced enough. He's not really a freshman anymore. Minor has gotten much better in the D. Because, if teams they play against it, they can just drag the whole, you can drag 2 guys away from the basket 40 feet, right, if you're hard hedging. And by definition, that turns it into 4-on-3. You take that every time as an offense.
Yeah, unlike chicken pox, which you get one time, the hard head seems to come back and haunt us every once in a while. So hopefully we have a better game plan for that. Fresh, you had some comments on forum that I think were kind of behind the scenes, and I know our guys love that. There was some talk about Elijah not on the green team, and some observations about his play and practice that were interesting. Why don't you take us through that?
Yeah, well, this weekend is basketball alumni weekend at the University of Virginia, President's Day Monday. So a bunch of old timers are down there. They went to practice, hit me with some behind the scenes, pictures, which I shared and whatnot. And yeah, I look for Elijah. I don't think he's buried on the bench the way everybody thinks. I think Tony's got a plan, and I think he's part of the plan for this season. And as most games, we agree that I think it'd be a great time to see 5 to 10 minutes from Elijah. Now, that depends on how the starters and regular rotation guys do, right? Because as we know, if Rhodey's playing great, Reese is playing great, IMAX playing great, Tane, he's probably not going to see minutes. But I think the recent history has shown that he should have an opportunity there.
Yeah, and I think today might be the day for that. Wake draws a lot of fouls on opposing guards. There could be foul trouble issues. You mentioned that Wake always goes at Reese. They got us into foul trouble last year, Reese and Kihei. I think today may be the day. If there's some foul trouble, maybe we see him. I know the fans would love it. I know Forum would love it. So that's exciting. Let's switch gears. Someone who has not been that aggressive offensively lately. A great player, a great defensive player, Ryan Dunn.
Yeah.
Is he hit a little bit of a wall? Is there a little fatigue? Is there an injury? Like, he has not been playing like himself. He's not the Ryan Dunn from earlier in the season.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Guys can get in situations like early in the season, he was making highlight after highlight incredible defensive plays, right? And then all of a sudden you hear he's a top 15 prospect, NBA. What the staff needs to show him a lot of film, and I usually like showing guys, show him what the good was earlier, show him what the bad is now, and very correctable. Ryan, catch the ball and look at the basket. Take 2 dribbles at your guy, whatever. Just change your rhythm up offensively a little bit. And everything is not making an incredible, high degree difficulty defensive play. He's very good on the ball. He's very good at staying in front of his guy, and then he's long enough he can still affect the shot. So I think it's correctable. It's a mindset, right? Go back to the dirty, get on the floor for a ball, get a couple of rebounds, get a block shot, and then the rest of the game will come.
Yeah, with such a high scoring offense, we need our really good defensive players to be strong. I think you see that with Reese, obviously Dunn. I think Minor offers some toughness down there for us. On the other side of the ball, Wake brings so many scores.
Yeah.
Is this a game where I know we're never going to run? And IMAC had some comments in post game about how when they get down, they don't run. Is this a game maybe where we push a little more? Or do you think we're just going to stick to the, walk it up, low possession, value each possession type of strategy?
Well, this is where Reese, his experience has come in. It's his team. He's going to play 30 minutes a game plus, probably more like 35 today. Hopefully no fouls. And he can choose, right? Coach Bennett's not taking him out. He trusts him. He has the keys. He's added dimensions to his game, understanding the secondary breaking things. So sure, I think we opportunistically do it with the right guys. That's more with Tane. You have Isaac trailing. Big Buck can get down the floor quickly. Obviously, Ryan Dunn flying around everywhere. And Dante, I like what Dante brings his team. I've said it. He changes the look of it. He's not a walk it up guy. And he's hyper quick, he's hyper fast. Everything he does very fast. And that can put defenses off balance. Even if he's not a great shooter, scoring threat, that doesn't matter. You get a guy like that, it changes the whole complexion.
No, I agree. I think oh, sorry, I'm getting an echo. I think we focus a lot on Dante's shooting percentage, but I do agree with you that what he brings to the table is a pace and a little bit of swagger and kind of toughness that maybe we don't always have. I like that mix and match with him and Reese, but I don't want him taking a bunch of threes. He's got to add that to the arsenal this summer. For sure. So you mentioned Monsanto, and I saw him as well when I was kind of breaking down the game. That guy can play. Like, he is coming in to gun and shoot. What did you see from him?
Yeah, he hasn't been able to get into a rhythm this year. Last year, he was in an incredible rhythm. I think when we played them at Wake that time, he had like 28, 30, and 33 leading up. I forgot what he had against us. He's one of those guys, man. Remember Hollywood Robinson from Alabama back in the day? If he makes his first two, the third one, he's taking a jump shot and blowing a bubble in your grill at the same time, and it's probably going in. So Monsanto's a tricky one, man. And we only have so many Reese Beekmans on our team that can kind of like, stave that off. So
you can't see it, but that picture right there is that's against Alabama, and James Hollywood Robinson. I'm shooting a jumper, and he's right there. That guy could hoop. That's a good one to go back and look at.
Maybe subconsciously I realized what that photo was, and that's where it came into my mind.
All right, all right, we're not looking past this team. Today is a tough test, but let's do a little bit of, maybe just pull it up, looking at our schedule as we're in that tough stretch that we've been kind of previewing for a long time. Let's get into it. We've got obviously Wake today. We've got Bass Tech on Monday. Quick turnaround. That's a tough game. That's at Bass Tech.
At Bass Tech, exactly. Different thing, different scenario.
They've leaked a little bit. They're just not doing great. So that is a huge game for them. We got Carolina at home. Carolina 19-6, ranked 7th in the country. Very good team. Tough matchup for us. Big dudes, skilled dudes. And then I think we go to maybe the biggest trap game of the year at BC. Now, BC's 14-10. They're not a great team. But their losses, they have been better than they have been in the past. That's going to be a dreary game. It's an 8 p.m. game in Boston. Wear your turtleneck, your fleece, your long underwear. That one scares me maybe the most before we head into March, where we obviously get Duke. The probably the biggest game of the year, and then we host Georgia Tech.
Yep.
So we're in the Bermuda Triangle right now, Fresh. There's hazards, there's rocks, there's currents and tides. Like, if we navigate this the right way, I think we'll all feel good. If we don't, we're back on maybe the wrong side of the bubble. What are your thoughts on the next 3 weeks?
Yeah, I totally agree, and this is where it's really up to the staff and the leaders. IMAX, because you're seeing him getting into that more of a leadership role. He's not so much of a freshman. I'm sorry, not a first year anymore. He's more like a third year in our eyes. It's imperative that the staff gets these guys locked in game by game, right? You have the UNC game lingering. I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of people coming from out of town, myself included. Family players are thinking about these things, but you really got to be on the task at hand, and that's Wake Forest right now. And you mentioned all. It's exciting. So it's an incredible stretch.
Yeah, what do we think about the Hokie game? I mean, that's a crappy place to play. It's terrible going down there. They're going to be fired up. I think this might be their last kind of quad one opportunity.
Yep.
You've obviously got in-state rivalry. It's big. Is that on the guys' minds, or is everyone really, really focused on Wake right now?
They're focused on Wake. We talked about it as players from New York or, Louisiana, Milwaukee. They don't have that sense of Bass Tech being big. To me, it's way much more of something the fans look forward to, right? The hatred is real. Our dominance against them is real. They're going to be playing the Metallica song and all that. But I just don't think the players look past it because they want to go down to wherever they're playing that game.
Yeah, we've talked about it. When I entered as a first year, I had no appreciation for that rivalry whatsoever. By the time I left, I hated them with a burning passion that still burns brightly today. So, we'll have to see. What's the message? What's the message Tony's giving these guys? We're right before tip-off. We're going to tip in about 5 minutes. The scouting report, the message, how are the guys feeling? They lost at home. Is it, hey, we're at home, we should win this game? Or is it, is there a bit of apprehension right now?
But I think he's probably changed some things. We had a few days to prepare. I think I guarantee you we had a real plan during the week. And whatever the theme he's coming with, whether it's continuousness, whether it's back to basics, whether it's get out and run, he's honing in on that. And the mantra has kind of been in the guy's head all week, and it's going to be preached that way today. And, stay with it. It's going to be ups and downs during the game, and then we don't want to get behind, to use IMAX, what he was discussing. If that's the mentality and we really think that way, well, you know what? You better not get behind.
Yeah, we can't get behind because I don't think we have a counter when we do get behind. You can't have like a, 25-second possession when you're down 10 points with you got to let it fly a little bit, which goes against everything Tony preaches. All right, my favorite time of the show, predictions. So I'm going to ask you for score prediction and then player of the game from our side, who's going to have the big game.
Well, I want it to be Isaac Neely. I want him to go 8 for 12 from 3, like I said. I think Wake is really, really going to focus on him, and I think it's going to come from somebody different. I'm torn between Ryan Dunn and Tane Murray. I'm going to say Tane's going to be the player of the game today off the bench.
Okay.
And we are going to win this game 70-68.
Yeah, I'm right there. I'm in the same zone. So I'll change mine a little bit. I'll go a little bit under. I think we're going to win 68-65. And I'm on record earlier in the week saying I think you're dead right. They are really going to focus on IMAC. They're really going to focus on Reese. I think AR, Rhodey, aka Sahara, shout out Dave the Wave. I think Rhodey is going to have maybe his best game of the year. I think he's going to let it fly and end up with about 15 tonight, which would be 10 above his average, and hey, let's hope we get it done.
Yeah, I'm hoping Rhodey didn't do his usual pregame routine of doing a mini triathlon before the game, where he comes in, he's sweated up, he's tired, it looks like he crossed the Sahara. I think that's the nickname that we're having fun with. Hey, we're rooting for him too, man. How about this, Wake? Leave him open, let him give you 4 daggers in the first half, and let's roll.
That's what I'm talking about. He was spotted outside of Crozet jogging about 15 minutes ago. So hopefully he's made it back for the tip. But we'll be back at halftime. For Dougie Fresh, I'm Hav. We'll see you guys at the half. Go Hoos.
Hoos.